All right, guys and gamers. Woo! We're wired today. Third video in a row. We're just making tier lists. Today we are looking at all the Fortnite seasons, minus this concurrent one, which is 17, because I couldn't find a tier 17 on there. I'll give my opinions on 17, but also, yeah. All right. So, where do we start? I've been playing Fortnite since season 1. OG. I'm pretty sure this is season 1. And I'm not seeing any photos with it. I'm assuming this is season 1. So we're going to kind of go off that basis. We'll start with season 1, I guess. I'm going to be honest. Season 1 was just, it was lackluster, for being honest. The game was just starting out, so they weren't really adding stuff. But it was still a very fun game. Which is what I say exactly about season 2, where I put it in S tier. This is when they started adding new things. The first game to really kind of do a battle pass. And I think it was super fun. And this, same with season 3. I think season 3 is amazing. Same with season 4. I'm going too fast. But I don't really need to explain these ones, if we're being honest. We all kind of know that the first couple of seasons were absolutely phenomenal. Oh, no, this is like season 5 or 6. This is 4. I still think this is like peak Fortnite. Peak video games. Like, hello, all these seasons? But now we get into where I gotta explain a little bit. Because now it's like a little more controversial with how I feel about some of these things. Because, yeah. Like, I think these are all agreed on. Maybe not these two so much. These are like, some people don't really think so. Because I'm pretty sure this is like 5? Because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or the other way around. I don't remember the season numbers. But in my opinion, these were still, when the game was super amazing, they were adding super cool things. I mean, Cube Event. You guys remember how cool Kevin was? Like, this season had we started getting some cool game modes. They were still adding new cool things to the map. It was around Halloween time, so we had some cool things there. But this is where it's not as universally agreed. Because people would agree that this is the last good season. Because I think this was after this. I think everything's in order right now. I think these are all as equally good. But I feel like most people would agree that the game fell off from here. And I personally don't think so. Personally. However, I do not think this season, this was Lux's season, I think. No, this definitely came first, though. I don't think this is nearly as good. This is when we had our first like live event, but it was not amazing. I didn't think it was bad, though. Let's see. This is season 10. I think this is 9. So this is 8. I think. I think 8 was when the game really started to deteriorate as a game. This is when people looked at it and were like, "Oh, it's not as good anymore." Like, this is when the brain rot started to kick in. Because then we had 9 and then we have 10. But I will explain those a little bit more as we get there. Because I'm still not really over this. Yeah, this is when the game really kind of started to take a turn. Updates were a little not as good consistently. It's around the time when they removed the pump. This song feels too sad for this moment. It's making me speak slower. This song is... I can't skip on this page. Okay. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, no, this season was just not as good. Which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. A game doesn't need to be in its peak forever. It cannot peak forever. A game cannot be as good. It had to take a downfall at some point. But I think that this season started a bad trend where things just weren't as good. Which is where we get into 9. And then we get into 10. Now I'll explain both of these. I think 9 was, so far, I think it was a pretty bad and pretty mediocre season. It's where it's like they started out like making futuristic. It's when they added mechs, which were done terribly, balanced poorly, and they started not adding as much. I think this is around the time they got rid of patch notes, like around here. So playing the game and not knowing what's new is super unfun. No one likes that. No one to this day. I don't know anybody who says, "Yeah, I don't like not having patch notes." Like, if you don't want to look at them, you didn't look at them. But now you don't know what's going on. You don't know if a gun's been removed. You go into an update, and you have to play for several hours to find anything, if there's anything. Sometimes they had basically nothing in an update. But yeah, 9 just wasn't really that good. I think 10 was a lot better. A lot of people didn't like it, but I liked how futuristic it was. I liked the huge mobility around the map with the air tunnels. I liked some of the John Wick stuff. Like the John Wick guns, I still think are some of my favorite guns in the game. That being like the combat shotgun and the tactical AR. Oh, the song's so sad. Why is this playing? I don't want to get sad. Aw. Anyways, yeah, I think 10 was, yeah, it's when the game started to take a downfall. Well, no, I think 9 is, like, 9 was where the downfall, but I think 10 was so much better than 9. And I don't get why people, like, kind of, like, look at it and think 10 is the worst season when 9 was just much worse. 9 was, like, setting up bad trends. Didn't really do anything too good. 10 had a pretty cool live event. And it just, like, new map, like, we were introduced to a new map, which I will argue the old map is better. You can't disagree with that. I mean, you can try. I like the stuff on the new map. I like stuff like cars and everything. But the old map is just better. Anyways, now that the sad Undertale music is playing right before you fight Asgore, let's jump into the new Fortnite map. Now, I think these are pretty ordered. I think it's like this. Mandalorian might have came first. No, I think Mandalorian did. I think it was this. Yeah. So, Chapter 2. They decided to give us a new map. And this is still seen as controversial. People still want the old map back. And Fortnite has kind of hinted at it, but I feel like with a lot of the things Fortnite has now, it would not work on a new map. Like, a lot of the vehicles just would not work. However, I still think Chapter 2 has done well. It added a bunch of new stuff, and Fortnite was fun. I mean, Fortnite Chapter 2 was the first time I played Fortnite with some people I haven't talked to in years. Because they just simply wanted to try out the new Fortnite thing. Season 7, 8, 9, 10 killed it. Killed Fortnite for a lot of people. And Chapter 2 did bring some people back. Actually, a lot of people back. Just no one stayed. Because what was the fall is kind of rough in my opinion. Season 2 was still decent. I don't think Season 2 is bad. Inherently. But this is when playing Fortnite daily was not a thing I enjoyed anymore. And I mean, like, at this point, yes, I was in high school. I was in, like, my second year. Probably even... Was this during COVID? I don't think Season 2 was during COVID. So I think it was still my third year. But the enjoyment started leaving. Fortnite is the first game I fell in love with to the point of wanting to never put it down. Never wanted to play anything else. When my Xbox was only at my dad's on the weekends. And I'd go to there every other weekend. Fortnite was almost the only game I ever played. For about 15 hours on like one weekend. It was only Fortnite. Fortnite with the boys. A lot of my friends that I'm still good friends with now were formed on part because of Fortnite. Like, yes, we were friends during school, but this was a way for me to talk to them outside of school. And Fortnite changed how I became friends with people. It made me a gamer, as much as I don't really like to say it. But I also got to experience Fortnite when it was good, and then when it was bad. This is very sad. This music's not helping. Anyways, I don't think Season 2 is good. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. I think it's like a mediocre. Season 3 is also mediocre. It's just content just started to become lackluster. There was a lot of cool. Like, I liked how much ocean was in this season. I don't like how less ocean there is now. I think it's actually was way more fun when there was like big oil rigs and there was like sharks in those areas. Like, water now again just feels like it's surrounding the island instead of beforehand where it felt like it was a part of the island. Like the new map, it felt like the main gimmick was there's water now. You can swim in the water. Now it just feels like, yeah, you can swim in rivers. Other times you don't really cross rivers besides like the bottom of the map, which you don't. Let's be honest, doesn't have the greatest loot. But yeah, this here is the first season I really started not liking Fortnite again. This season to me it felt like such a huge sellout. I didn't like this season. I didn't like the fact that it just felt like a Marvel season, because it was. To me, Fortnite is way more fun, like in this Battle Pass, where yes, there are some license states in there, a very small amount. The rest of it is creative, new stuff. When you just put Iron Man and Groot and other Marvel characters into a Battle Pass, I don't like that. It doesn't feel like Fortnite. I feel like I'm playing some weird Marvel's thing. Sorry. So I just didn't like the season. Besides the fact that also too much didn't come out. Besides some Marvel stuff, you had some places to go to. They still wasn't really amazing in my opinion. I thought the rest of the content wasn't really that cool besides the map changes. And this is the season I also feel the same about. It's when Fortnite just stop adding less. I think Fortnite nowadays does not add as much as it used to. Even though I took a huge break from Fortnite, like a couple months, when I came back, it wasn't a game I wanted to play every day. The content still wasn't there. The game still lacks content like it used to. Like in these games, you could play this weekly. You could play this daily, and so much content was getting added weekly, and it was still so new that it was fun. But now Fortnite is at a point where it's old. I mean, this game came out in like 2017 or 2018. It's past the point where the novelty and gameplay of the game is the main reason people are there. Like, you can't just go off of that. You can't sell a game just off its mechanics. The content is what needs to be there. And Fortnite at nowadays doesn't really have that content. Let's go. Hype music, baby. Woo! So yeah, these two seasons just started where the content really dried out. And Primal is the season where I quit the game. This season is garbage. It was really bad. They had new mechanics no one wanted, made everything tedious, annoying. It's where they started really making just everything not fun, if I'm being honest. Like, this was kind of a decline. This is was still fun, but they started adding things like new. This is when they started adding new mechanics, like the gold system. And now this one, here's a crafting system. And now those are things we start to deal with. Hell, they're not as as high anymore. During these seasons, you need to use as much gold as possible for mythics and stuff. During this season, you needed to craft. It's the only way you can get good guns. Nowadays, in the hypothetical season 17 that's not on the list, that's just not as bad. Crafting still exists if you want to change your guns around, and gold still exists if you want to buy some healies from vending machines. I feel like now they have fixed those mechanics to where now that they're not in the main light, they're not as bad. However, I do think Season 17 is the most fun Fortnite has been since, honestly, I think it's more fun than Chapter 2. I would put it not in B tier, not in A tier. It'd be in B tier. It'd be higher than everything else in B tier. Maybe because I just took a break. I was getting tired of Fortnite. It was still a game I played heavily during every season besides last, which is when I quit the game. Because everything felt like an agenda and not like a thing added to just change the gameplay. Like, it felt important to do that. Like, that's how fishing was in Season 2. It felt like, why would I carry regular heals when I can just go fish? And yeah, I think that agenda just wasn't really great. I feel like Fortnite has it good now where those are just background things. And these are things that are there and still good, but they're not necessary. And I think that's how Fortnite should add things. I think Fortnite's on a good track right now, and if they keep it up, I could see it being close to how things used to be. I think we can see Fortnite being an A-tier game again. People are always going to not have as much fun with it, but if you have some friends that know how to have fun, I think Fortnite is still fun right now. I've been having a lot of fun with it. And it doesn't say often much, because I don't really have too much fun with a lot of games. With that being said, that's my Fortnite tier list. I don't think I have anything else to say, so that's all. Yeah. Bye.